feels good to be back on the podcast.
Episode 2, Blinking the Podcast. Beautiful.
Yeah, I came across this comment where some gentleman said, these guys, they are doing a very good podcast. The content is good, but I didn't like the introduction. So I asked him, like, why? He's like, I know you guys, you didn't get to introduce yourselves.
Well, I choose to differ. Throughout the podcast, we kept calling each other by name. Yangi.
Namadingo.
Namadingo, yes. Yangi.
You know, but that comment gave me a very different perspective.
Okay.
I started thinking about how as men, we don't really get to open up about things. And I feel like as men, most of the times, we have friends that we have known for the longest time, but we know nothing about them. Like, we don't know where they stay. We don't know who they really are. We don't know where they work. But these are the people that we hang out with, like, all the time. We'll do drinks with them. We'll go watch football together. And sometimes they contact you, just say, like, I'm fine, Mount Soji. So you just say, Mount Soji body. Then there's going to be another guy, Mount Soji Range Rover.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I've had friends like that. And most of the times you feel like it's embarrassing to ask someone their name after you've had 5 encounters or 10 encounters. You've had drinks together. You've watched football together. And then you want to ask, what's your name? So you know you don't know their name.
Yes.
But it's quite embarrassing for you to ask after 10 times. Then you just go like, nah, it's okay. You know, you just call them Chief, bro.
Chief, bro.
That's it.
Ajimwene.
Naomi.
Yeah. But do you think it's the same for women?
No. It's not the same for women. I find women to be people that pay attention to detail. Women pay attention to detail a great deal. Yeah, so women will know a lot about their friends. Yeah, they will know their name, what they do. If they don't know, they're going to ask. Yeah, maybe they can also ask their friends. Do you remember that girl in a pink dress? What was her name again?
Yes.
But for men, we feel like we can't even ask the other person to say, who was that guy? He's just like, he's my friend. He's my good friend, that guy. You know? So it's different. Women pay attention to detail.
Yeah. I think as men, sometimes we even forget the birthdays, anniversaries. Not that these things, they don't matter to you. They do matter, but you know, there are details that you don't really
probably it's our
dive
nature.
into.
It's
I
our
think,
nature.
yeah. And talking about the same, how do you look at this issue of gender equality?
Gender equality.
Ukaona mabanja akale ndikuwafanizira ne mabanja apanopo. You'd agree with me kuti kalekale lija nthawi zambiri azibambo amakhala kuti ndamene ali kusogolo akupanga lead, and we have a lot of women who were stay home women, housewives.
Correct.
And azibambo amakhala kuti apita kutheba kayapita kuti akagwira ntchito abweresa ndalama. That woman would wait just kuti no amuna akabwerese china chake. Panopo kayangana marriage setup with the gender equality, gender equity, the fairness and everything, all these empowerments. Don't you think kuti no we have kind of restructured the family setup, like the marriage setup?
When you talk about family, my opinion, my beliefs, and my values. When you talk about family or you talk about marriage, there must be one leader. There must be a leader and someone to help the leader. Which means there must be a man. I am a Christian. I strongly believe in Christian values and beliefs. And I also encourage people to read the Quran and the Bible. The Bible says man was given a woman because God figured it out that he needed someone to help him. And the Bible also says he who finds a wife finds a good
thing.
The Bible does not say he who finds a wife has found a good partner. He who finds a wife has found a good friend. All those things can be found in the wife, but you must know I have found a good thing. And that verse continues. I think it's Proverbs 18. That verse continues. I think it's 18:22. The verse continues to say, and he will obtain favor from the Lord. And it also continues to say, a woman is a treasure. Literally, the Bible says a woman is a thing you must find. So when a man finds a wife, he must know he has found something. Okay? Now, when we see the modern world today, it's more of he has not found a thing. He has found a partner. He has found someone probably will be paying 50% of the bills. You also be paying 50% of the bills. Then you have questions, what are you bringing on the table? We should not have men thinking like that. When you read the Quran, according to the Islamic Sharia, it states in the Quran that when you want to marry, the number one quality of a wife, she must be righteous. That's it. Period. It's not about how much money does she have. How does she really... Of course, she has to be pleasant in your eyes when you see her. You must like her. But she must be a righteous person. So now that's Prophet Muhammad. May peace and blessings be upon him. That's the one who's telling us about the quality of a good woman. She must be a righteous woman. That's it. But when it comes to a man must be a leader. A man must be able to provide for his family. A man must be able to protect his family. Now that's a man.
That's a man.
So when you meet a man who cannot provide for his family, he cannot protect his family, he cannot, we've talked about providing, protecting, and leading his family. These are three different things across the table. If you are not able to do these things and you are married, then that will not work. Because that is not how the setup has been.
Okay. Listening to you, the way you have put it, if I got you right, all you're trying to say is men are superior than women.
Okay. Don't put words in my mouth. But to sharpen what you said, men are leaders of women in their households. I'm not saying at your workplace. We're talking about family here.
Okay, this assertion of trying to put men in front, don't you think is also one of the reasons why we have had like a number of cases of gender-based violence where women are being subjected to a lot of pain, like a lot of struggle?
No, Yangi, don't say putting men in front. Nobody has to put a man in front. The man has to be
in front.
In front. It's natural for a man to be in front. So don't say we are putting them. At the first place, if you are putting the man in front, then the man is not a man. The man must know I am supposed to be
in front.
In front. So let's not say we should put someone. No.
Okay, so, but right now we've had families that have got people who are treating each other as partners, like equal partners. Everyone is contributing 50-50. Everyone brings something to the table. Everyone is able to make the decisions. One cannot make this decision without the other. It's more to do with the fairness, as you said, that there has to be some kind of fairness.
No, that's not fairness. When we talk about making decisions in a family, it's the same way you lead a country or you're a CEO of a company. It does not mean because you are in the highest office, you can just decide whatever. That's why you have the parliament. People discuss issues. Then it is up to you to sign things that you've discussed, but you have the final say. So here I am, and I want people watching at home or watching us from wherever, saying Namadingo believes a man should make the final decision after carefully listening, looking at the information, evaluating it, and now the man should take his pen and say, I can sign on this as the leader of this household. But you must be able to listen. So I am not necessarily saying men should just decide, men should just do as they please. It doesn't work that way. If you are a leader, leadership is not about just bulldozing your way because I am the leader. No, you can lead, but you must be able to be somebody who can listen, to be somebody who's patient, to be somebody who's kind. You must have all these things in you, then you are a leader.
Thank you.
But your wife must not make the final decision. No. Your wife must always say, let me consult Abambo. Or Abambo must say, let me consult my wife. That is not weakness when you say, let me consult. That is leadership. And when you consult, then you make the decision as a leader. But I must also advise women who are watching us, when a man consults you and you say, I don't think we should do this, and he goes ahead and says, we are going to do it. Now that's leadership. It does not mean when you're consulted, it means what must be done must be what you say must be done. So consultation, advice is free. Advice, you advise someone, they can take it or not take it. So now that's a leader.
Okay, say. So, kwamba nkhani zisambanja zet.
Yeah.
Menewe ukukambira zikuoneka kuti as a man ukuyenera kupanga, you have to provide, you have to protect,
and you have to lead.
And you have to lead. Koma pena pamachitika ma situations ena yako kuti ndi moyo uwu mathapeza zinthu zimayenda bwinobwino, kena kumwina kantchito katha, financially zinthu siziliso bwinobwino nditu for the longest time. And upeza kuti pakhomo paja ndi mzimayi amene akupanga china chilichonse, kulipira marenti, kulipira ma school fees ya ana, kusamala abambo kugula zovala kutani. Kodi pamene paja pazikafika choncho leadership ija ndi mmazayendesa bwanji?
Yangi, I am not claiming to be an expert in marriage, but I am somebody who has a household. So I'm speaking from an experience and just opinions. My opinions. I'll tell you, kuti menonena kuti ndi moyo chinake mathakuchitika kupeza kuti abambo sakugwira ntchito. Ukakhala kuti you are not working, your wife is earning more than you are. Well, you're not even earning at all. So she's taking care of the household with her money. No, that does not make you less of a leader. A man that does not have the money equivalent to the money that his wife has must still understand that he is still a leader. There is something we call extraordinary leadership in extraordinary times. During that time, you must still be the leader. Your wife should still consult you. Your wife is not going to do as she pleases because she has the money. Money must not be something that dictates if you are going to be a man or not. You must be a man whether you have money or you don't have money. Who is a man? A man is somebody who stands by his beliefs and his values. So your belief and values must not be shaken because you don't have money. Tikamane nazo kuti munthu uyu ndi mamuna. Taunapo ife anthu oti amalemekeza alibe ndalama anthu umamulemekeza be munthu chifukwa cha mmene munthu cha carries himself zimene amakhulupirira kumazoza kuti munthu uyuyu si munthu awedewedwe, you can just go around him. Simungango you can't sway him chifukwa chokuti mwabwera ndi ndalama. Now that is a man. So ineyo ntchito itati yatha ndalama ndilibe ndapita ku nyumba ndakhala pasi, akazanga akulandira ndalama kuposa ine. Akazangawo amadziwa kuti munthu ndi mtsogoleribe olalibe ndalama koma mtsogoleri ndiyeyo. So kaya mukulipira ma school fees ana, mukugula chakudya, mukutala nomwe mutafuna kuti mufuna mugule galimoto ina, you will have to consult the leader. Now tikamanena kuti leadership must be in the hands of people that are respected. That's how people will consult you. People will respect you. Respect, ulemu, is earned by those who deserve it. Chizungu chake kuti earned. Muchicho chomveka bwino tingati iweyo mmene umapangira zinthu zako umapangitsa anthu akupase ulemu.
Ndi mphoto mmene ukupangira zinthu izizi ndi ukupasidwa na ulemu.
Respect. So mukazanena zokuti nzibambo okuti alibe ndalama akazake sakumulemekeza. I'm not saying in all situations zimakhala choncho. Pangokhala zimayena kuti ndamwano ndongokula mtima basi. Ndi anthu oyipa. alipo anthu otero
Eh.
okuti munthu oyenera kuti uyuyu akuyenera kulandira ulemu iwo sakumpatsa ulemu amakhalapo ana amwana kupeza zoti anthu akuluakulu akhalakhala nji mwana uja wangoyimirira apo basi chilili ngati chintengwete kuona zokuti okay so pano akuluakulu akhala uyuyu bwanji wayima munthu wamwano so anthu amwano alipo
ndithu
koma most of the times I find kuti women have been genetically designed to follow and not to lead. Especially mbanja. Now, anthu akakhala kuti they have stopped following. You should know that there is no leader. Because this person was naturally engineered to follow. System yake yanzimayi anayipanga kuti izita kutsatira. Yanzibambo anayipanga kuti izita kutsogolera. So pano if the system is compromised for pabwera kandalama, ntchito inandithera ndesindingatsogolera. That is wrong. You must still lead. So ine to answer your question, azibambo amene ali kumanyumba ako akutimva panopa kuti akazi awo akadzuka amaliza galimoto pita ntchito iwo amakhala pa khomo kumalimba makala tomatumiza mmakambanimo. You are still leaders and do not be shaken chifukwa munthu wina wake ali ndi ndalama. It doesn't work that way. Then you're not a man.
Okay. Are you of gender equality in workplaces?
Actually, in workplaces, I would have loved if people don't look at genders at all. The gender must almost disappear in workplaces. Asamamuone munthu wina wake ngati nzimayi, wina wake ngati nzibambo. Let's say in the corporate world, kumene kuja kumakhala CEO ngati ali wankazi, musamuone ngati CEO wankazi, mzingono ndi a CEO. Wamuna mzamuone ngati awa ndi CEO wamuna. CEO ndi CEO, period. So, I strongly advocate for that. Don't even look at gender.
Do you think it's very easy for someone to balance being a leader at work and being a follower at home? How easy is it to bring this balance?
No, we must be aware that when we open the door into our living room and then shut it behind us, we have left the world outside. We are now in our own world with our families. Ine kunyumba kwanga sine celebrity. Ndine munthu basi ndina bamba kumeneko kwa kunyumba kumeneko. Sine celebrity kwa kazi anga, sine celebrity kwa mwana, sine celebrity kwa ntchito. Antchito sangamuone ngati munthu otchuka. When they see me amangona kuti ndabwana athu pa khomo. The same way I'm sure every household amaonera akaona abwana antchito akazawo. So it would be quite disappointing. For example, a police aweruka kuntchito kuja sergeant afika kunyumba akupanga bengana nda polisi be. Kunyumba sungakhale wa polisi, kunyumba ndiwe abambo basi ndiwe abambo ake amwana. Usisewera ni mwana basi.
Sawa yenena akazopasa masayi.
Anthu sanga kupange chenisa. Ayi ndi kunyumba kwako. So izezo zizithera umene kwako. So if you are a CEO kuntchito, you send people around. Kunyumba, you are somebody's wife. You can be bas in the kitchen cooking. Kwakonzera bambo muvala chani mawa atai uyu. That's how I see that's how marriage should work. So you cannot be, let's say, president. Ngarama Joyce Bandanal president, but she was the wife to the first gentleman. Ndakapita kunyumba, I'm sure sanali your excellence. Yeah, kunyumba seen your excellence. Kunyumba you're just
my wife.
My wife. Bas.
Interesting discussions, Namadingo. Okay, let's look at gender equality in our churches.
Yes.
You see that a lot of churches they don't allow women in leadership positions.
Imene usayiro biro tali yange. Sindu zote zimefuna ndifuze. Koma imeneyo. Tiye tisaikuze. Chifukwa chakuti. There is a reason why Papa sangakhale wankazi.
Yeah, kumano. Okay, my point was, don't you think church in a way stands in the way of gender equity, in the way of fairness?
No. I am always very careful to comment on things that originate from the Bible. There are certain things we can say these things evolve. We've talked about evolution here, but when it comes to the word of God, it remains the same. So there are certain things that these churches are doing in regards to what the Bible instructed them to do, or their church doctrine. So we're talking of issues to do with spirit. These are spiritual affairs. I don't think me or you qualify to justify why a woman should be wakuti. Ngati mpingo wawo wakunena kuti ife sitivomera kuti amayi azilalikira kutsogolo kuno. That's them. If I sitingabwere to engineer it differently kuti ayi mwalola azilalikira. Enanso ngati akunena kuti ife mpingo wathu umatsogoledwa ndi papa sazakale nzimayi kadino sangakhale nzimayi. I don't think Jimenez has got anything to do with gender equality. These are spiritual affairs.
Okay, but you would agree with me that church is the biggest part of human race. The church is the biggest part of
religion.
Even,
you should say.
Yes, religion is a biggest part of us as human beings. Don't you think church in a way comes in conflict with upbringing? Because if in church you are told to behave differently, at school you are taught to behave differently, at the workplace you have to behave differently, don't you think you will be a person that doesn't have their own identity? Like you lose your identity because you keep changing depending on where you are.
One thing that I must accept, and I also encourage you to accept on this podcast, is that there is no way we can be experts in everything.
Yes.
I think this is a topic I should accept that I really am not qualified to talk about church and gender.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
in the same context.
Yes, maybe if I do an extensive study, research, talk to people who understand these things in a far much better way than I do, then I would come here and give my opinions. Yeah, but I try as much as I can to stay away from giving opinions on things I don't understand.
Okay.
You know the difference between being stupid and being smart is that when you're smart, I'm not saying I'm smart, but I might be smart. But when you're smart, you must have a limit.
You know where to draw the line.
You know where to stop. Stupidity is just trying to give you opinions on everything.
Being smart on everything. Okay. You would agree with me, a few years ago in other countries, women were not allowed to vote. And actually, even as we say now in other religions or whatever, women are not allowed even to drive or even to be in public and say something. But the coming in of gender equality, you will see that at least there has been a balance where women are now in places where decisions about their lives are being made. Now women are able to hold the positions, like in the corporate world, like even in families, women are able to be part of the contribution. How do you look at that kind of a balance?
The balance is being worked on as we speak. It's an ongoing thing. We've not really covered so much distance. Yeah, because Yangi, when we talk about women empowerment, the first elected female president in Africa was just elected in 2006. You know, that's not long ago, if you think of it. I mean, we're talking of countries that have been independent from the late 50s, early 60s, in our case. And the only elected female president comes in 2006 from countries that have been independent for such a long period of time.
Yes.
That can tell you that
we haven't
really made so much progress. So the struggle is there for women. I side with them. I understand their struggle, and it's going to take time for people to change the way they see certain things or the way they do certain things. But it's good that we're looking at these things and we're talking about these things, and women are able to vote. You know, I think it's a struggle for women all over the world, not just here in Africa or here in Malawi. And all over the world, women have struggled.
Okay, so we are agreeing that the fairness is what we need.
Everyone
needs
need
to
fairness.
be given equal opportunities. The ground has to be leveled. But if you look at our culture, like the people who are coming from the northern side of Malawi, and those that are coming from the southern side of Malawi, you see that they have got different cultural practices. The other one is matrilineal, the other one is patriarchal. So how do you look at, because when it's patriarchal, there's going to be some resistance because you're simply trying to empower the females so that they can level up with men. And there has been some kind of resistance. What do you think can be done so that these societal norms can be challenged and the ball can be set, Laurie?
Well, I consider myself a traditional man. There are certain things that it's not written laws, but it is what the society has come to agree that that's how a man should be and that's how a woman should be. And as of recent, I think there seems to be redefinition of what gender is all about, which shouldn't be the case for me. We should not be confused about who is a man, who is a woman. I mean, talk about maybe the last 40 years, people were not having discussions about who is a man. They already knew who a man is.
How many genders are out there?
How many genders are out there? So at this junction where we are, this is a very dangerous junction where we are sitting at this table and we want to define how to be a man, who is a man, what is a man. I think as men, we had a role to play to bring up the young boys to know what to be a man is and not necessarily to depend on the textbook identification of what a man is. Rather depend on the traditions passed down from one generation to the other. That's how I look at it. So if we talk about social norms, of course, if you look at societal norms, sometimes they do work against the other gender. They do work against the other gender. Probably maybe they wanted to do something in a certain field, but the societal norms tend to go like, no, women don't have to do that. I know of a certain tribe, a fishing tribe, I think from Zambia. This is a fishing tribe, but they do not allow women to paddle on a boat. A woman cannot paddle. They consider that a bad omen. So you can see that that's a norm. It's just something they agreed to say, no, I think when a woman does this, it's a bad omen.
But do you think it's right?
I
to
honestly
restrict women from
paddling a boat,
doing things that they want to do.
I mean, it's the same thing like you say, if you restrict a woman, say you cannot drive. Why should you not drive? It's just driving.
Yes.
It's just transportation. You can go and pick up your kids from school. You can take yourself to school. You can take yourself to work. So these norms tend to work against women. They are not pro-women. So I do agree with you that societal norms do contribute. But however, as I told you that I'm a traditional man, I believe there's certain things that women should not do. I strongly believe. I am not one who is for a woman can do anything a man can do, and vice versa is true. I'm not one who advocates for such. I will tell you that I don't advocate for women to be soldiers, for example. No, I don't find it fair for women to be soldiers. You know, women for me are life givers. They give life. They give birth. They nurture life. And why will you put such kind of a person in a position to take life, to take somebody's life? No, I wouldn't agree. I don't want that for women. I think that's a man's job, not a woman's job. And I would also give another example. I don't think a man should be a nurse. Yes, I don't think a man should be a midwife. Yes, I don't think so. You know, imagine your wife is pregnant and she goes into the delivery room and you see this buff guy. She bounces, you know. It doesn't just sit right with me. I think some of these things have reason because of economic desperation. People are just desperate economically. And as a means of making ends meet, one would just then take up a career or a job that they were not supposed to be doing traditionally. There is a reason why in Pagarelo, kumuzika in town, azimai sama kumba manda. Timakumba ndifeyo, ninchito ya zibamba kumba manda.
Kuma weni a little one passes on.
Now that's tradition as well. When a little one just passes, mwana ungurwa bidiri, right? So mazaona kwa zibamba kumene kucha.
But do you think it's got any implication, like if a man can go and say, okay, we are digging this grave for the little one, or it's just a cultural norm that we have practiced for so long, and we think that things should go like that?
No. Every people should have a tradition. You can't be people without a tradition. You can't be people without a culture. We have a way of life. And in this way of life, you must be able to know what's my role as a man in the way of life. If women are the ones, it's been passed down generations. Mwana zikachitika yonje amapanga zimezo ndazimayi.
Yes.
Munthu akamwalira timakumba manda ndadzukulu.
Yes.
Amakhala amuna. Amene amaphika chakudya kumaliro ndazimayi. Azibamba somangapita umene kuja kumadula makabichi chani kutenga zakudya kuti makapasa azimayi kumanda. You know? So there's certain things that I would not be willing or to think about changing them in the name of equality. No. It goes a long way even to family, marriage. There are certain roles that must be played by a man and by a man only. And when a man fails to play them, it's a disaster. So to answer you or to agree with you, I would say that indeed I am not one for gender equality, because it brings me back to gender equality. If we are equal, then we should have been fighting in the same category of boxing categories. Then it should be a man fighting a woman. MMA, a man versus a woman. A football team, Brazilian national football team versus Malawi, the Scorchers. But they know it is not fair. It is not fair. So you cannot do that.
But if you look at the cultural norms, you see that there is some sort of a conflict. You have said that as a people, we need to have our belief. We need to preserve our culture and everything. So if there is a culture that says, okay, men must lead, and you are saying, okay, we need to bring fairness. We want women to be available in places where decisions about their lives are being made. Don't you think there's going to be some fight between these two? If you are to say you are preserving your culture and you're trying to bring gender equality or fairness, you're bringing also another culture in a way. How do you intend to balance the two?
Well, if I correctly understand your questioning, I would say life is about evolution. Life continues to change. Therefore, as the beginning of life as we know it, if you go back eons of time, you will agree with me that there was time when women were not voting. There was a time when women could not be leaders. And now life has evolved.
Okay, so just to stop you.
Yes.
There was a time that women were not doing all these things.
Yes.
If we are evolving, it means the women can also be able to take responsibilities that were not meant for them.
No.
Is that what I'm getting from you?
No. As much as there is evolution, there are certain things that don't change. So we must not try to change them. You see, there's a confusion across the world where people are talking about genders. Now somebody wants to be they. That's not evolution. You cannot change to be they. You're either he or she. That's it. We only have two genders. That's Donald Trump. We only have two genders. We cannot evolve in terms of gender.
Anything else.
Exactly. A man cannot evolve and start giving birth. No, you cannot evolve. You are just created to be that way. Whether you like it or not, you will never evolve. But when you're talking about social norms, let's say, I gave you an example of this Zambian fishing tribe that says women should not paddle. That can change. People can evolve. It's an issue to do with their mindset. A woman can do that.
Yes.
A woman cannot drive. I'm sure in those countries that you talked about where women are not allowed to drive, probably maybe in 50 years to come or 100 years to come, that may be history. But the women will remain women. They will still be the ones giving birth, taking care of kids. The husbands should still be the ones protecting their families, providing for their families. I don't want to see a society that has evolved from men who provide to men who are provided for. I don't want to see a society where we will sit down and say, let's help azibambo amasiye. Ama Indiana ndamena makala amasiye. Mzibambo suka abambo amasiye. No.
Sisi majitika.
Umuzisunga pite ukamva abambo ena kuti andivutika 40 ndilibe nkazi. Palibo ndithandiza kuti akandilimire kumunda. No, mumapeza azimayi ndamena madandaula zimenezo. Mukapita kumudzi kuti tikugawa chimanga. Mukatigawire azimayi onse amasiye kaye. Kena kuti amboka inu muli ndamuna dikirani kaye. So when we talk of evolution nkhani zake ndizimene zozo pali zinthu zina zake sizingasinthe musazisinthe chifukwa choti mufuna muthawe responsibility pali zinthu zina zake
Ndeteka look at women in engineering.
Engineering, you can have an architecture who does drawings, calculations on the desk. Koma kuti azimayi muzauza kuti azikwera pamakwere opita pamwamba pena pake kunyamula chithabwa so zimene
They are not built up for that.
zimene zozo so ndakuza kuti zinthu zina zake is a result of economic desperation. Ndikamapita ku bank ukamapita umene kucha pakhomo lapanja pamakhala gadi anali nzimayi ndiye chidzuwa chikumenya ndikumuona nzimayi uja wakhala pa chidzuwa yonje ndi ndodo gadi ndiye kuti ntchito yake ndiyo kuti wina wakatatu watuluka mbankimu ndi speed waba mmenemo
Amuyimise.
Uyu atha kumuyimitsa kapena kumuthamangitsa ndithu ine ndikamamuona nzimayi ameneyo ndinkana kuti this is economic desperation. Nzimayi musamuyike pa dzuwa kumati ndi gadi sizoyenera zimenezo tazipatseni njondazi ntchito imeneyo ndeyawo ayime pa dzuwa ka tsiku lonse azititsegulira zitseko mbanki mujati kama amatsegula kutseka koma zimayi uja ndi mmene ndilili ndi mmene maganizira zimayi uja kamanditsegulira chitseko I was feeling bad akamanditsegulira inde ndi ntchito koma I was feeling bad with a woman. No woman should do such kind of jobs. No woman should stand in the sun like this. Look here, when there is a disaster nyumba ikupya timanotenda tuluse azimayi ndi ana Titanic kumira anatusakaye azimayi ndi ana tukanikaye. Now that is a man understanding kuti zinthu zizimayenda bwanji.
His responsibility.
So sitingamanene zokuti we are equal nyumba ikupya ayangi poti ndinu amene muli window
tukanikaye ena wati atulusabe
sizitelo. And look here kalikali chati maphunzira civic education amaphunzitsa amene mukakwera mbasi mwakhala pampando nzimayi walowa inuyo mulikhale pampando dzukani mpaseni nzimayi mpando mpaseni mwana mpando mpaseni munthu wokalamba mpando munamva pano kuti azimayi mukaona zibambo ola bambo onene pamwe apase mpando
koma panopo sitankamabweresa fairness izokuchitikabe kuti azimayi omwe apasa mipandoyo
imeneyo ndi equality koma no fairness would suggest kuti ngati nzimayi walowa amene machabereka mwana ali chonchi inweso mukakhale pampando imirirani koma panopo mapeza anthu atangovala ma headset basi kumangoseweresa foni adalesa kuendera yake. We cannot be such a society.
Okay, so all we are saying is for a better society,
yes,
we don't need gender equality.
No.
What we need is gender equity. Exactly. We should bring fairness.
Correct.
We should treat every case differently. Everyone should be met at their need. If someone is liking 20%, you give them 20%. If someone, what they're liking is education, you give them education. If someone who just wants to be taken care of,
correct,
you take care of them.
Very correct.
That's what you're advocating
Absolutely. For. Correct.
So, men wafotokozera.
Yes.
Utanthauza kuti women should be reduced to just the domestic work. And I mean, that's why you can't agree with this nzimayi akhoza kusankhidwa kukhala president, right?
No. Remember earlier on, I had talked about Shalif Johnson. Yeah, that's the first elected female president in Africa. That was 2006. But I will also tell you the view of the world, especially the Western world. Let's say America. In 1989, the 38th president of the United States of America was Gerald Ford. A young girl, very young, probably less than 10, asked him, the question was, Mr. Ford, what's your advice to a young lady who wants to run for the office of president of the United States of America? This is 1989. 1989. So the president responded and said, well, I believe that a woman can become president, but I will tell you how she can become president. And the how is very interesting, according to Gerald Ford. This is leader of the free world, they say.
Yes.
This man says, the only way a woman can become president in the United States of America is when either Republican or Democrat party has a presidential candidate and the presidential candidate has a running mate who is a woman, and they win, and then the president dies. Only then a woman can become president. So this is an opinion of somebody who is leading the world superpower, a democratic nation. Their democracy is hundreds of years old. And this man in 1989, probably if we would put on a scale to say how America was in 1989, the understanding of its people, its politics, if we would put it on a scale with Malawi, if we probably were in their 60s. Right now we're in their 60s.
Yes.
So if they did, if the whole president of America was thinking like this in 1989, that a woman, there's no way she can be elected, probably it would happen as a running mate. That speaks volumes of how men see women. I honestly think that a woman can become president, but unfortunately, to be brutally honest, it's not everybody's view in the world. People would like to pretend that, yeah, they can be. But we've seen 2 times in America, Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. We've seen what happened.
Coming very close.
America should have had a female president at least once. In these years, they've practiced democracy. They've never had.
Interesting views right there.
Yeah, but they encourage us that we should have. But I support it. We should be having female presidents.